Gorgeous morning, just out checking the boat, run the engine a bit after all the heavy rain we've had. So, oops, someone forgot to lock that. So I wonder it didn't blow open. So you get the ventilation through the boat, the windows open, there's a lot of condensation in there, literally dripping from the forward cabin ceilings, main wheelhouse ceilings, and you can probably see it all there. Problem, no ventilation and getting cold this time of year, all dripping, it's almost raining inside here. So what I've got, I'm going to install one of these, solar vent. I believe it's capable of moving about 29 cubic meters of air an hour. Has a battery in it so that it can keep going at night and run during the day and night. Idea is I'd probably set it up probably about maybe here, just out of the way. There's going to be plenty of sun. Put one there, next pay. Probably going to put one in the aft cabin here somewhere. Try and get a little bit of air coming in and out of the boat while it's sitting on the mooring. Potentially another one at some stage in here. It's recirculating in that to try to keep it from getting too condensated and keep the temperature the same inside as it is outside. It should prevent a lot of this condensation you can see on the ceiling here, which is pretty much the problem. Everything's so damp, everything feels wet, everything's getting mouldy. It's a bit of a nuisance. So anyway, they're not cheap. But I suppose reasonable quality won't be, so well, the stainless steel, we shall probably work out where the beam is, make sure we don't hit a beam. I'm going to have to cut a hole in the bottom there. Certainly should move a bit of air, and probably you can actually have it so that it's blowing in or blowing out. And potentially I'll just have it pulling air out of the boat, because it'll pull fresh air in from around the place, right around the windows here, around the door. So it should be a little bit better. But ultimately the back one maybe can be blowing in, one can be blowing out. We'll see how we're going. But yeah, so she's a gorgeous morning here, but so I'm just going to go and do a little bit of work. An old girl there is just about, so got a lawn growing on the back of it there, so it looks like she's starting to list. And there's bloody paradise ducks sitting where the seagulls normally sit when they, well, one seagull there, when they're not sitting on the boat. Yeah, so you can certainly see that there's a fair bit of moisture getting into the boat. There's a bit still getting through the deck, so I'm going to have to start sorting that and sealing it up. So that's a job that's going to have to be done gradually as time and the finances allow, but it's all good, it'll all be fun. Now you'd think, looking at that, you undo that, take the screws out of that, that's the cover, vents around there, you'd think that that would be nice to sit flush, don't you? So that, but oh no, oh dear me, we've got to actually have a flange in there of some description, which is a pain in the backside. So unless I'm missing something here, maybe that unwinds or something or another and screws on from the inside, I don't know, but I'm not very impressed with that. I better have a look. Right, well that was a bit of a muck around. So it's in, it's down. Just going to go and see whether I've got any signs of liquid around that seal. The seal doesn't look like a particularly fantastic thing. So we'll go inside and we'll see whether we've got any. There. We shall go down here. We shall turn it It doesn't look like it is. Right, switch really awesomely is right, working. Let's hope that sorts out some of this condensation aspect. Oh, Emma. Hopefully it's not going to get water splashing around there. Anyway, it can't be worse than the moisture. So job's done. I've been a bit neglectful. I've just finally had a look to see what batteries and everything are under here. A couple of heavy duty suckers there. The big one, green battery, whatever that is. Another one there, so I'm trying to work out. I'm already seeing a few things I'm not particularly that happy about, just in relation to, I suppose, screws or cables wrapped around them. The Maxwell windlass, can certainly see why that's potentially struggling to pull the lift that heavy anchor. I imagine we'll be getting quite hot too. I'm seeing a few things here that need to be sorted. Sorry, I'll just turn it around. It's just a bit of a rat's nest of wires in there, but on the whole it looks pretty good. Sort of seeing a lot, obviously it's a positive to negative. So it's obviously 24 volt as opposed to 12. And looking at that there, that looks to be the same. It's a 24 volt system. So obviously that tells me one thing, only as far as I'm going to need to get the lights that I replace it with, I'm going to need to get 24 volt lights or some of those modern LED lights that are capable of taking, being 12 or 24 volt. I think you can get them. Be a hell of a lot brighter than what's in here at the moment. Yeah, so that tells me a fair bit. And there's a few little jobs in there that need to be done, but one of many. It's just an absolute gorgeous day, to be honest. It's all running around backwards and forwards for work, and running around and no time, and all the horrible crappy weather that we've just recently had. Really is just absolutely gorgeous and wonderful to actually be out on the boat doing some stuff. The only thing is would be good to actually have the family on there and be off the mooring and doing something, but it'll come. We'll get there and get a little bit more sorted out. So shag or a fish or something jumping there. There was a seal kicking around here earlier, but I don't quite know where he's gone. But yes, it's rather lovely. One little job done, which is it was a start. That there, more than happy with that. It's working fine. It's running. Tested with the solar panel covered up, and yeah, it's running. So the battery will keep running at night. 25 cubic meters of air it'll shift apparently. So hopefully that'll make a little bit of a difference, especially if I can get another one or two fitted into the boat. But yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous, and time for a cold beer. Well, I hope you enjoy having a look at the boat, Northern Star. Obviously a little bit of an amateur job, just trying to get a few short clips pieced together on the iPhone and then emailed. Hopefully we should get a few jobs done over the coming months, recorded on the GoPro, get some high quality footage. As my son keeps telling me to stop swinging the phone around or swinging the GoPro around, keep my fingers out of the way. But I suppose you get what you get. When you're a silver rank amateur, just downloaded a editing program, so hopefully we can get some more interesting bits and pieces up, a little bit more fluid, less wobbling, and people can see what we're actually doing when we start some projects on the boat, particularly with sealing up the decks, keeping the water out, a few jobs, and preserving this old boat. You know, she was born built in 1967. So I guess, you know, she's actually in better condition than me. I was born in 1968. So I suppose she has been working since about 2009, I think, was when she was still in survey and working in the Marlborough Sounds and fishing out in the Cook Strait. So she's been sitting around on moorings, and obviously sitting around on moorings is when old boats, particularly old fishing boats, start to lose the fight with things like rot and fresh water on decks when they're being used every day. They tend to have a good wash of salt water over everything. The maintenance is part of the general day-to-day fishing, particularly from a commercial aspect, tends to preserve them. When they end up sitting on moorings, sitting on marinas, if you're lucky enough to have a marina berth, they tend to not get the same care and attention that they deserve and that they actually need, particularly given that a lot of these old boats need to be kept up and well maintained for survey purposes and for commercial fishing and such like. But anyway, I hope you enjoy just this quick flick of a quick job today. Like I said, it was not the flashiest of recordings, but it went out and did a wee job. Was particularly unimpressed with having that little flange on the back of the vent unit. I ended up having to cut an extra groove after I cut through the cabin. I ended up having to cut an extra groove in the cabin top so that it would actually fit flush, and the seal that they provided with the unit would actually sit flat and keep the water out from running into my newly cut hole in my cabin roof. Yeah, so all in all, it wasn't a bad job. I'm still not particularly happy with it, potentially doing a bit of sealant around it, but hey, we'll see if it makes any difference to the condensation inside the boat with it sitting on the mooring, particularly after a bit of rain, or you know, we get a frost or it gets a bit cooler. Anyway, so enjoy what we've done. Like I said, it's all a bit of a trial, and I hope that we'll actually get some better quality footage up for you using a bipod or tripod or whatever they call it, and we'll yeah, have some fun moving forward.